I think degree matters only for HRs. My biggest problem in my data science interview, I'll tell you, during that time, due to the COVID, my pre-placement offer was rescinded, like it was taken back by the company. I'm not just a guy who has done a degree. Apart from my degree, I've gone to IIM, IITs. So anyone who wants to join as a data science, data analyst, data engineer, like first thing is, do you want a regular kind of problems or do you want new problems? If you want regular problems, I'm not sure how good this field will be. The biggest problem for me in interviews was not the interview, but the HR. Convincing HR to give me an interview. Then you can put that forward in front of HR that, I'm not just a guy who has just graduated from BBA college or BA college and just forward a resume. I have explored, I have done stuff. Today I'll be a system designer. Tomorrow I will be a programmer. Day after tomorrow I will be a presenter. Technology is not bad. Technology is part of human journey. Humans, the entire life of human is all about growth. College doesn't provide you recent information. For that, you need to be open. You need to go to business conclaves. You need to go to hackathons. You need to watch. For me as an introvert, that's the biggest red flag for me, that if someone is so confident about his ignorance, in this market, referral is the best way to go about it. Apart from referrals, there are job agencies that can help. Being in the student mode, I'll learn it, I'll learn from this, then I'll do this, and then I'll learn from there. Yeah, you have an entire life, man. You need to go past the learning and start applying. And that's why I say, I've taken like almost 300 plus interviews. I can give you a guarantee, not every BTech has the skills required for.
Today, we have a special guest on our podcast, Saubhagya Verma. He is a senior analytics consultant at Infiniti, currently pursuing a master's in data science at Woolf with a background in business analytics from Panjab University. Saubhagya combines academical expertise with real-world experience to make a significant impact in the data. He is a passionate learner who travels to attend business conferences and stays updated on the latest disruptive technologies. During his internship at Alma Better, he contributed to a team that achieved outstanding performance for 3 consecutive quarters. On weekend, Saubhagya mentors aspiring data professionals, sharing essentials and insight into developing the right mind for success in data science world. Let's give a warm welcome to Saubhagya Verma. Hey, hi Saubhagya sir, how are you?
Hi Chaitanya, I'm good.
Yeah. So, sir, first point I want to discuss with you regarding your educational background and professional journey. How you started your educational background, how you entered your professional journey, and we want to know which company you are working right now and how that company is beneficial for your professional work. Please brief about it.
So, based on my professional journey, I'll start with my education. So, I did my BBA from DAV College, Chandigarh. I specialized in business analytics while I was doing my BBA. But at that time, I'm a 2020 pass out. So, during that time, due to the COVID, my pre-placement offer was rescinded, like it was taken back by the company, and that kind of caused a little bit turmoil for 1 year. Like I tried out a lot of things, content writing, other stuff, even did a little bit of chat based work, right, and some freelance work also. But gradually I came across digital marketing stuff, which kind of also gave me a little bit insight on the statistics and the application of data, right? So not many people know that digital marketing is also very mathematical if you go too deep into it, and it also requires a lot of stats, do some judgments, finding out every numbers and all, that's definitely math, but doing some judgment calls on the campaign and on the data that they have received, that requires a lot of statistical thinking and some level of basic level of data science knowledge. Even without them knowing, they do that stuff. So from that, I kind of came across an ad of Alma Better EdTech Institute, and this was an institute that was promising that they won't be taking any money upfront and they would be providing us placement, and after placement they'll be starting us pay after placement, kind of like. At that time it was unheard model. Today every second institute is providing pay after placement model, but at that time it was a new concept. But it wasn't like these days. There was a proper entrance test, and I actually failed the first entrance test that I applied for, that because I had a good mathematical background. I had studied maths till 12th, but I didn't have a programming background per se. Like I hadn't done any coding per se. So the first entrance couldn't clear because of my Python skill. So I self-studied some stuff, and then I re-attempted it and I cleared that. And then throughout the journey, it was a very daunting kind of a process. Like every day you would have class, and after class 2 hours you have to do an assignment, all that stuff. So it was, I have seen some online courses that people are now providing these days, some edtechs. I don't see them, daunting enough for people to actually, develop that rigor rigor, develop that mastery on the different skill sets that are required in data science. At that time, it provided me that. I'm not sure how they are going these days, but at that time it was very rigorous and was able to provide me a lot of time to actually go through every single concept, think about it, and practice it again and again. Fast forward to 10 months after that, I was able to join my present company called Infiniti Private Limited, where I am still working. I have promoted twice. Now I'm working as a senior technical consultant. I joined as an associate to this company. So, and the purpose for me joining this company was basically I had heard that consulting based companies work on different kinds of data and different kinds of clients. So I just wanted to kind of get more experience in the least amount of time, which I somehow think that it has its disadvantages also. But I was able to learn a lot of things in a short span of time because my clients would change, the technology would change, the data would change, and I again have to start from scratch, which is not the case in, I think, product based companies. So yeah, that's about my journey, and so I'll try to be brief about it. But if you have any counter questions to that, you can ask.
Yeah, my counter question is like nowadays pay up placement is one thing that every coaching institute or is a college we can say they are promoting. So what is your advice for the freshers or the students who is fully blank and entering in the industry,
Mhm.
and how they can stay away from these types of attracting words, or what we can say the these types of any promotion type?
I would say demo is required for anything. Like we had a demo class beforehand. Before joining also, we had a demo class for, I think, close to 2 weeks. So one way is demo. Second is, you can check with their alumni. Like, just check with their alumni. And if they don't have an alumni, then definitely you need a demo or something like that. You can't blindly trust them on their face value. And you can also look at the teachers and maybe connect with the teachers. But usually those people are too busy to have that connection. But I think definitely a demo should be done, and at the same time a talk with their alumni is a must, I would say.
So, sir, my next point I want to discuss with you, you was in digital marketing also and
Mhm.
the many other fields. So,
Mhm.
at what point of your life you get to know that I want to become a data analyst, or you get interested in data analysis? How you know that? How get
Okay.
to know that?
That's an interesting question. You never know. I had see, from my childhood, I had a proclivity towards mathematics and problem solving, and I get bored too easily. So that's these three things I know about myself. So this self knowledge kind of guided me in the sense that told me what is not looking good for me. Like, you can never know which job is the best job for you, but you can definitely know which job doesn't work for you by working for that job in just for a few weeks. You work as a content writer for 2 weeks, you will know whether this job is working out for you or not, right? So that's the same thing that worked for me. At the same time, being bored easily means, just to explain a bit more on that, if there is a repetitive kind of work environment, I get bored too easily. It's not that I can't do that, I can do it, but it's not that interesting for me. So I need new challenges, new kind of problems, not the same problems, right? Usually people want same problems. That's why they opt for government jobs, right? Problem set is very similar. Apart from the top level jobs, the lower level jobs are very standardized in their problems, right? But in my case, I want different problems every day, right? So that, and it can be daunting. I'm not saying that every day it feels happy to work on a new problem, but at least it feels interesting, right? It feels like I'm doing something new. I'm solving something more than before, right? I'm not doing the same work again and again. So that kind of feeling made me attracted towards data science, because this field itself is a very interesting mixture of maths, business analytics, as well as programming. With programming, you will create new programs every day. Someday you are using one kind of Python. So just to give a perspective, from last 8 months I've been working on SQL, but before that I was working on Python. So the switch comes in, right? The software I'm working on is also now different because my client is different, and the data also is now different. So that kind of makes my life a little bit fresh and new.
Okay, so as you said that, yeah, we are not a robots to do same task
Mhm.
daily. We need the problems, or we can face the problems. Then only we get getting ourselves and
Mhm.
also learn from that problem.
Yeah. So
It's very important in data analytics.
yeah.
Get updated as you need to face the problem.
Yeah. So anyone who wants to join as a data science, data analyst, data engineer, like, first thing is, do you want a regular kind of problems or do you want new problems? If you want regular problems, I'm not sure how good this field will be. Maybe there are certain elements of this field that you can, go for. Like, data engineering is more repetitive as compared to other data science fields, right? But it is also very new in terms of the problems that you will receive. So someone who want a routine, I don't think data science is a very, connect for you. It's not a routine job. It's a very new challenges, new things, and it makes you also, like, it increases your self-worth also, right? Every day you solve a new problem that you never heard of, that you never thought you can solve. You learn also, and at the same time you feel like, yeah, I can do anything. First year will be very difficult for any fresher, right? I always say first year is the most crucial year because it's a different environment you enter into. Any other job, after a few weeks you kind of plateau, and you know that, okay, I have to come at this time, I have to do these kind of thing for 2 hours, and then there's a lunch break. In data science, it's a little variable, like your lunch times and all will be same, but your work will be variable.
Yes, yes, totally right. You the data science or data analytics industry is totally different from the other corporate level job. You need to switch daily on the various tools, various techniques, various concepts. So, sir, I want to know that you are from BBA background. So
Mhm.
it's very important to opinion on this point. The BBA background student now sitting here as a senior analytical
Senior data science,
consultant.
yeah.
So, in your opinion, what matters? Degree matters or skill matters? And if any non-background want to enter data science or data analytics industry,
Mhm.
how they can approach to this?
That's a very interesting question. See, this is a question I ask myself. How was I able to make this switch? Still feels like a dream, right? I think degree matters only for HRs. My biggest problem in my data science interview, I'll tell you. I'm just giving you a little intro here. The biggest problem for me in interviews was not the interview, but the HR. Convincing HR to give me an interview. Post that, I was able to clear the interview, clear the technical round, and get the job. Getting that interview through the HR was the biggest problem. And HR was only stuck with degree. Your degree is BBA. How will you do all that stuff? But as you see me now working as senior technical consultant, I have now worked almost 3 years, more than 3 years in the same field. Skill matters at the end of the day. Degree can only matter till for the HR. Once you're past the HR in interview, in technical rounds, only your skills matter and your interest. I would say, since we are talking to people who haven't even started on this journey, before your skills, your interest matters. So what's your interest or your proclivity? And interest need not be like makes you feel happy. Like, nobody feels happy doing maths problems, right? It's not a happy job. It's not a happy thing, but it's interesting, right? Some people feel it interesting. Some people feel that sense of accomplishment after doing solving that kind of a problem. Some people feel accomplished after writing a piece of code. So you need to know the difference in that what is your proclivity towards. Things could be difficult in every field. Like, every job becomes difficult after a certain point of time, right? Every job becomes boring. But if your proclivity, you are able to understand that, okay, I'm interested towards data science, I'm interested towards computers, I'm interested towards communicating with people. So that's another interesting point. If you don't like to communicate much with people, or if you're not that extrovert or outspoken, I would say you should, rather than data scientist, you should opt for data engineer and those roles, because there you don't have to give long presentations on your problems and all that stuff. There you have to do more on the code side, less on the presentation. So even within data science, based on your proclivity, you need to choose the right field, because one good thing about data science is you can always switch. If you have joined data science via any field, once you have joined it, you can upskill yourself and then switch to any. But at the end of the day, skills matter. I've taken like almost 300 plus interviews. I can give you a guarantee, not every BTech has the skills required for this job. So it's not about BTech, BBA. Definitely BBA and BA people don't have that much programming skills, but they could have good mathematics skills, statistics skills, right? They could have good presentation skills. So yeah, you need to develop your skills, and I don't think degrees will matter after 20, 30 years. I'm already seeing, at least at tier 3 level cities, tier 2 level city, I'm seeing a change. Like, people are more inclined towards certification courses, learning stuff, rather than going for the degrees. Because the problem is, degrees standardize the learning rate also, right? In every class, there's a guy who can learn that chapter within 2 days. One guy can learn that chapter in 5 days. Another guy can learn that chapter in 30 days. Now, for the guy who can learn it in 2 days, it's unfair that he has to go through that chapter for 10 days or 15 days. It's a waste of his life. It's a waste of his time. So some level of standardization that this happens, it could be good for the 30-day person, it could be good for the 15-day person, it could be even general for 10-day person who takes 10 days to learn. But for someone who can learn it in 2 days, it's unnecessarily eating away 3 years, 4 years of his life, which he could have learned within 1 or 2 years and start earning in the third year, right?
Yes, yes. So, sir, as you said, the degree matters till HR round.
Hmm.
So, if any non-tech background switching to data science or any free, how they can crack to, if let's take the example of any arts background student
Hmm.
entering in the data science industry. industry, he or she has the good skill and a good amount of project experience.
Mm-hmm.
So how they can crack that HR on, because HR don't know the technical language
Mm-hmm.
of data science or data analysis.
Yeah.
Okay, so how they can crack? Can you share the tips and trick to
Fair,
crack
fair.
this?
First thing, you need to be persuasive. I would say in any work you do, right, or in any personal work or private work or corporate work, you need to be persuasive. First thing is that. How can you be persuasive? You need to talk with people, and have debates with your friends and all. Like you talk with your friends, you have debates, right? One is like just sharing gossip and all. I'm not talking about that. Another is having debates on some topics, on some stuff that is somewhat interesting, right? Technological stuff, innovative stuff, a new policy, anything. The more you debate, you kind of develop some persuasion skill to put your point in front of others, right? That's the first thing. Second thing is you need to have some success in the past. You need to have some credentials in the past that you can put forward while you are debating the HR that they should select. Like for instance, you should have gone through some business conclaves. You should have gotten some runner up, not even first, second, third prize, but even a runner up prize or something like a participation medal also in some hackathon or something like that. That will at least show a pattern to the HR that this guy at least has a pattern towards this field. He has been consistently doing this kind of stuff, involved in data science related stuff since the last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. The longer this pattern is, the easier it is for you to convince the HR also. So you need to have persuasion skills. You need to at the same time create a pattern in your past. You need to do hackathons, engage in business conclaves, those kind of stuff, so that then you can put that forward in front of HR that I'm not just a guy who has just graduated from BBA college or BA college and just forward a resume. I have explored, I have done stuff, I have done stuff in semi-technical to technical stuff, right? And this is my proven record. See, the best way to get credentials is going through hackathons. Certifications also work, but certifications, the problem with certification is the market is flooded with certifications. So it's like everyone has a certification these days, right? So it's a certifications have that problem. But past project or something you have done that you can show for could also work, right? If you have built a model and deployed it in your local something, and you can show it, even a demo video of that, like that could be enough to justify the HR. And at the last point, you need to be kind of stuck with it, right? You should not back down. If you are confident about your skills, you should not back down. In my case, I had to call HR 3 times. The first call I had, they didn't understand. They were lowballing me in the offer. The second call I had, I kind of explained my situation to them that, I'm not just a guy who has done a degree. Apart from my degree, I have gone to IIM, IITs for business conclaves. Apart from that, I have also gone for hackathons. Apart from that, I have also a certification. Apart from that, I'm also doing some personal projects, which I can show you if you want to have a look and see for yourself whether I would be able to work in your company or not. So all this stuff, then you can use it as a pointers to kind of persuade the HR on that front. But the best way to persuade the HR is to bypass the HR. And how you can do it is referral. So that's why if you don't have all that stuff, you don't want to spend so much time on those things, the easiest way is referral.
Yes, yes, yes. So the referrals really works, because once you go through referral, the HR are also clear-minded that someone from our company only referring him, so he or she has knowledge or good amount of skills in this job role. That really matters. Referees.
Yeah.
So, sir, next point I want to discuss with the what tools, subjects, and techniques should fresher student focus from the once they get into a data industry or the data field to build a strong foundation.
So I haven't gone through BTech myself, so I can't comment on but I'm assuming if they are saying BTech in data science, they would cover all the basic subjects that are. Apart from that, I'll talk more from a skill set point of view. See, subjects, we already have lots of subjects. We have 6 to 7 subjects each semester. Within a year, you have 2 semesters or 3 semesters. You can have like 12 to 15 subjects every year. Within a span of 4 years, you have like 90 plus subjects. I don't want to overburden people with subjects, but from a skill point of view, the number one skill that you need to know is programming, and you need to be comfortable with programming at least, right? If you know DSA and all that stuff, that's also an upper hand, but at least you should be clear about the basics of whichever language, Python, Java, C, whichever you are choosing, and you need to be at least comfortable from programming language. Beyond this, what you need to do is you need to be able to pick up some kind of a live problem and try to solve it. Now, not talking about Kaggle projects and all. Think of any problem that you face and try to solve. Like for instance, I want to find the cheapest flight tickets to Bangalore, right? I'm going to fly there. Create a model, scrap data from from different websites and then create a model. See, it may not actually solve your real problem, but it could create a good project that you can then showcase and also deploy, and all that stuff. And the entire journey of a project will make you learn 10 times faster than the actual subject by subject learning. What I have seen from my experiences, subject wise learning is good to understand the theory and the basic, but in the real world you have to apply 3 5 subjects together. So the how to connect 4 5 subjects knowledge together to create a solution, that is what is required in the real world, and that is something I think is missing. You need to be able to combine your knowledge and use knowledge from other areas to create a solution, right? So for instance, you can be a good decent programmer, but if you're not able to create a system design, right? If you create a good program but you're not able to properly plan the table structure and all that stuff which will flow through the from which the data will flow and reach the final end, that will become a problem. Like, you have system designs subject, programming subject, two subjects you will have, but if you're not able to combine these two and create a solution, it's useless in the real world, right? You can't just be, today I'll be a system designer, tomorrow I will be a programmer, day after tomorrow I will be a presenter. I'll be able to convert the data and present it in front. I'll create a PPT or something like that. So you need to be able to combine these and be flexible to create solutions using all these subjects that you are learning.
Yes, yes. Even the students where they get stuck is like after the third year or a final year,
Hmm.
they don't able to decide what I want to become, like a scientist, analytics, or I want to become a business intelligence
Mhm.
officer or any developer like Power BI or Tableau developer. So, what is your opinion when they should start thinking on this job role? At what point of their career journey they should decide that I want to go in this specific job role? What is your
Okay.
opinion?
First thing is your proclivity. So if you are good at communication and you like talking to people, yeah, you like the 1 hour calls, the Teams calls, you enjoy Teams calls and enjoy creating PPTs. Business intelligence, business analyst, data analyst also is a very good field for you. If you are into visualization, you don't like to talk much, but you like to draw and create an interesting visuals, then Power BI Tableau stuff will work. Data scientist is a combination of everything. You need to be a good communicator, you need to be a good programmer, you need to be open to business discussion also, and learning some business concept you have never heard in your life. Like, I recently learned a concept called as OTIF, right? On time in full. So it's a inventory based concept that I just recently learned, which is being used in my current client's company. So it's a key metric that they use to evaluate the performance of how their distribution squad is performing and all that stuff. Not to go too much into it, but you see, I never heard about this word even during my business days and all, or maybe I heard it but I couldn't connect it because I had no idea where to apply it, right? So I forgot. Maybe I studied it in my BBA, but I can't remember right now. But now, after programming, after doing all the presentations, now I have to also learn some of the business concepts as well, because that are required as a part of this job. So data scientist requires a lot of, like, a more flexible persona, right? But data analyst, business analyst, data engineering, these are more niche personas where you can, if you are into certain proclivities, you can then opt for those. In terms of time, I would say the best way to judge which field will be good for you is do an internship in that, right? Whether it is second year, first year, third year, you should at least try to get some kind of an internship, right? If you don't get internship, at least do a personal project on those fields, right? I don't understand, in this day and age where we have chat GPT, and much more large language model, how can people sit idle and be confused? I can't tell you how many times I have stopped using Stack Overflow since last 1 year, right? I barely use it. I use it still, but it's like 90% of the time. Like, now I use ChatGPT. Can help you enormously to at least structure your thought, but the decision you have to take, right? You need, whether it's taking an internship, whether it's creating a project, anything. So if you want to have a Power BI kind of a project, just ask ChatGPT for a problem or a project that will involve Power BI as a skill set or something like that. It will give you some ideas. Then along those, you can create a personal project. Same for any data engineering or any other field, right? So use the available resources. You need to be street smart in this domain. You can't be bookish. Being bookish is not bad. I'm also rank holder in my university, and topper and all that stuff I have been through. So it's not like I'm from a BBA, so I haven't done good in my grades. I have done good throughout my 9 10 and BBA. I have been a good student. But beyond that, you need to be street smart, in the sense you need to be quick in your decision making and quick in your exploration. Like, you need to explore stuff more.
Right, right, right. So, as you said, there are the many resources nowadays available to find the solution of any problem, as you
Hmm.
said, the chat GPT, it will work. Even I use daily
Mhm.
basis if I get stuck here, because when there was not chat GPT or any LLM model, I was to YouTube, search on the YouTube how to
Mhm.
solve this problem or how to crack this concept, and I have to go to the specific video, find that solution, and get back to the work. But now it is getting the time getting is estimated by the chat GPT or other AI tools. People should take the advantage of. But some of the misconception is there in the students that you use the chat GPT while working or while studying. Study perspective get less if they use chat GPT. Do you
Okay.
think that is true?
See, it's the same thing, right? From class first to third, you used to learn tables, right? First, you used to learn table of 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that was all good and to develop your mathematical computational skills, right? But now let's say if I give you a 6-digit number and I ask you to multiply it with a 7-digit number and you try to do it on by hand on your paper, isn't it a waste of time? You know the basics, right? It's not about not knowing the basics. You need to know the tables from 2 to 20 or something, whatever, is it depends upon teacher to teacher and school to school how much tables they tell you, but you need to know that basic. Okay, then after knowing the basics, to apply it, you have a resource of a calculator, why not use it in your day-to-day life to learn more higher skills, right? So that's the same thing with ChatGPT. I'm not saying you need not learn the basics from your books, from your subjects, from your classes that you have at college. That is good, but why not reach the next level application? If you learn something today, if you learn a concept, learn about this application using ChatGPT, right? And another thing you can do, the answers you get from ChatGPT, if you're not sure whether that is correct or not, then you can backtrack it. Like you can back Google search, and that's also another skill to check whether something is sourceful, whether the source of something is correct or not. Although ChatGPT doesn't hallucinate that much, most of its answers are decent, but it could hallucinate or could give you wrong answers in certain situations. But at the same time, you need to use the available resources to learn at a higher rate. Technology is not bad. Technology is part of human journey. Humans, the entire life of human is all about growth, right? You need to grow as a person, and I'm not saying just from monetary or any all that point of view. You need to grow as a person in the sense you need to grow, learn anything new every day or something like that, right? And if something is helping you grow faster, why not use it? If you feel like this, that your studies will get impeded, then go to school by walking. Why do you go to school using bus, by a car, via bike? Go by walking. Be the best student there. If you go by walk, half of your classes will be lost. How will you be a good student? If you can afford a helicopter, go to school by helicopter. I don't mind. Reach there first and reach home first. Reduce your time that is wasted in the travel journey. And that's why, online, some of the companies, especially my companies also, still having that work from home culture. Why? Because they know that this entire 2 hour, 3 hour traffic that Bangalore has and all top cities now have in the morning and the evening, it's a waste of time for that person. That person can relax. That person can maybe plan for next day. That person can have a personal life, can enjoy some lunch or something like that, instead of spending that 2, 3 hours or 8 hours a week just on traffic and all. So that's the point here. Save your time from unnecessary stuff using technology.
Right. So, sir, as we are now on a part of a chat GPT and AI, so
Mhm.
my next question is to you that do you think that AI and automation could eliminate entry level job roles in next few years?
I think so. I'm not sure what you mean by entry level. Like entry level for which field? For data science, entry level jobs will always be. For other fields, it could happen, right? It could change for some fields. Like for instance, call centers, right? We are already building stuff. Even in my company, we are building chatbots. We are building voice assistants, response. So they could replace humans. But I don't feel why that is a bad thing, right? See, at some point, think about it. In every field, from farming to everything, right? The technology helped us do things faster, right? Which saved our time, and then we were able to do more things in a day, right? Like if you lived as a farmer, 500 years back, the process of tilling your land would have been so long, and the process of harvesting would have been so tiresome and all that stuff. But now with technology, at least those who can afford it, those farmers can do all that stuff within a few hours. They can till their soil using tractor, and they can harvest it using harvester. So same is with all other fields. Typing on the typewriter or fax machine was slow and had a lot of inefficiencies in it, right? That was replaced by a computer, and the weight and the cumbersome of moving that computer was replaced by the laptop, and then the laptop was also replaced by the mobile, because we wanted to type and then put it back into into our pocket. We don't want to carry a laptop bag every time we are, want to go on a Skype call or something like that, like we are doing today. So technology always saves time. Think of it in this sense. You need to find a way to utilize your time in such a way that you learn the skills that are high paying skills or that are required for the future. If today you are learning how to handle a fax machine or how to write using a typewriter, and you are worried that your typewriter skills or your typewriting job or your fax machine job will be lost, then it's not the problem of the job, it's the problem of your skill. You need to focus on better skills, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So people should focus on their skill up themselves to
True.
crack that. Not only just entry level, they can take the skills for the senior level from the starting of their career. They
Mhm.
should focus more on the what industry is going to do instead of just focusing on their portion or the syllabus from their college.
Yeah. See, I don't mind college syllabus. What I just say is you need to be open to stuff. You need to be aware about what is happening right now. College, I don't know why, could not be recent. Like the studies that are being done are the subjects that are being taught, the things you are being told are published 5 or 10 years back. So whatever you're learning, it's good. It is good for your basics, but it's not recent. So college doesn't provide you recent information. For that, you need to be open. You need to go to business conclaves. You need to go to hackathons. You need to watch, podcasts like this, YouTube channels to be aware about what is happening at this time, right? College gives you framework that is useful, that has been successful, but it's not 100% applicable in today's market. That's the problem, right? So for that, you need to be open and aware. Awareness is a very important thing that we all must have, and it's a skill that you develop. It's not like you start reading newspapers and you will get aware about everything, right? Get aware about whatever you like. You need not make it schedule, right? That I'll have to watch this podcast for 2 hours, then I watch a newspaper, then I watch a this. Make it organic. Go explore on YouTube. Whatever today, let's say something comes up in your mind, you want to think about, let's say some kind of a movie, right? Search on YouTube like how movies are being changed by AI, how movies are being updated, or how the filming process is getting changed using AI, right? There are now movies that are being created using AI end to end. I'm not sure whether Hollywood is doing that, but some studios are starting to do that and they are progressing, right? So whatever you like, let's say you like certain foods and all, think about how certain food process could be improved, or certain like a driving thing, how the automated vehicles are going to change the future and all that stuff. So just be aware about that stuff. Be aware about what is happening now, and if you're aware about that, then you can handle anything. But if you're oblivious to what is happening now and just stuck to the book of the past, that's going to be a trouble for you.
Yes, yes, yes. So, sir, next point I want to discuss with you that certification, bootcamp, or courses really worth to invest in this data industry.
I think boot camps are better than certificates, because certificates have a, like, you just want to get that certificate. Problem with certificate courses is people don't focus on the material, they focus more on the end certificate. They don't through the journey, they just want to get to the end. So that becomes an impediment in their learning process. Boot camp is more about learning stuff, right? So you have to learn stuff in the boot camp and then apply that also. Usually in every boot camp, whatever you learn, then at the end of that class, you are asked to apply that in some form of or the other. So that's a more better way to acquire skills. Courses, when you talk about courses, what kind of courses are you talking? Like, are you talking about degrees?
Courses like nowadays, there are many universities, Stanford
Mm-hmm.
or California, or even IIT is giving the courses on the Coursera platform. So
Mm-hmm.
how it is that benefit?
I would say they are. Some of the courses are very beneficial. I don't remember some courses, but for instance, MIT Open Learning, right? MIT Open Learning has some very brilliant ML classes that are better than any of the paid courses that you or certifications that you see on Coursera or anything like that, right? So yeah, some of these courses are very, but then don't get overwhelmed with multiple courses, right? And don't be overwhelmed with that. Okay, is this the best course or not? Pick a teacher, right? You're not picking a course. You're picking essentially the teacher, which is teaching in that course. If you think that you can learn from the way he's speaking, if you can understand what is the accent and all that stuff, then go ahead and pick that. Don't focus too much on, is this the best course? Is this the optimum course? Is this the fastest course? I normally see the challenges that people face is not the course, but the attribute. They think it should be the best course, the fastest course, the best teacher, the best ML guy, the longest coding, the best job opportunity. Don't attach so many connotations to your course. Keep it simple. You want to learn something. Listen to the first lecture of the course. If you are able to understand the English that is being spoken, because everyone has their own accents, if you're able to understand the methodology that they're using to teach, go ahead and complete that course.
Yes, yes. So, Shubhanga sir,
Hmm.
I want to know that if you could change one thing about the data industry, what would it be and why?
In data science, what happens is there's a lot of things that are not very obvious when you are asked to join the company, right? You're asked that you'll be programming, you're asked that you'll be presenting stuff, but then you are not aware that apart from all these things, some other stuff is also required for you. Like there are some, business understanding and all that stuff that is required. I would say if that could be more better presented in the JDs and in our teachings, in our courses, then people would be more prepared for that. And secondly, I see as a fresher, I was also once a fresher, and I see as a fresher, freshers don't get the best project. They get the projects that nobody else can take, or nobody else wants. They can take? I can take any fresher project, but nobody wants to take. So usually those projects are very routine in nature, although they're still new. It's still interesting, but from a data standpoint of view, they're not the technology edge kind of projects. They are very routine kind of projects, like creating simple table structures and then uploading data on those tables and processing that data and all that stuff. So I just feel that data science fields should be more open to giving chance to freshers on some more crucial project, right? So that they can learn more faster, as well as they can prepare better for the higher roles higher kind of projects when they will receive. Because some people, they get so procedurally driven, then once they get to into a project which is innovation driven, they scratch their head and say that every day there is a new thing. Every day there is a new thing. How do I handle this? They get then overwhelmed that this is too much for me. I can't keep on exploring, keep on researching every single day. But that's the enjoyment of being a data scientist.
Yes, yes. It's a really important point that you said that they are getting stuck with the many tools and the things, so they are not properly decided what they have to do.
I would say, I mean, introductory months are a little hard in there. That once you join, it's very cumbersome to just fit into the job role and then catch up. I don't know about other companies, but at least in consulting companies, I've seen that it's a little hard for people to adjust and just join out of the way. Feels like you're kind of lost, right? Even if they give you KTs and give you some brief understanding on the projects, still it's very difficult for a fresher to just go into the shoes and understand how the procedures and all that work. So
Yes. So, sir, what are the some red flags you observe in job interview from aspiring data professionals? Also, share some tips and tricks to crack interview and the best job application process. And also, we want to know that how can aspiring data professionals stand out in such a high saturated job market?
basically, what I see in interviews is someone who doesn't know that concept doubled. He says something out of his mind, on the spot, and I know it's incorrect. He knows it's incorrect, and when I kind of counter question in that, are you sure this is this? He double downs on it. No, no, no. Yes, this is this only. This is that only, and then he says more stuff from his mouth that doesn't make any sense. So if you don't know something, just if you don't know, say that you are a fresher, but you're eager to learn, and you'll that at least for me as an interviewer, that's the biggest red flag for me. That if someone is so confident about his ignorance that he feels that the interviewer is stupid, he won't understand that you are making things up from thin air. Every interviewer who has taken 300 plus interviews can grasp it in few seconds whether you know that concept or not. So don't try to fool the interviewer. Be open about it. Even if the interviewer don't select you, at least you will still agree that this person was a genuine person. So be a genuine person. Don't try to create a persona that you know everything. Nobody knows everything. If you don't have an answer to one or two things, just agree that I haven't studied about this, or I haven't gone through this, but I'm eager to learn and learn from you. So that's a better answer than giving a wrong answer and then doubling down on that answer. So that's the biggest red flag. Second, arguing. I've seen people who say wrong thing, go double down on that, and then argue that I don't know that. I don't know how many interviews this happens, but I've seen some people do that they are so oblivious that what is the right thing. They haven't maybe researched about it correctly, or they haven't used the right sources to learn that stuff. Then they start arguing that, and I'm not saying that they start shouting, but they kind of get stuck when I'm clearly saying them that this is not the case. Whatever you're saying is not the concept that we are talking about. They get stuck. No, no, this is only the concept. I have applied it in this sense and it was successful and all that stuff. So arrogance or debating doesn't work in an interview, right? It's an interview. You don't need to debate the guy. You don't, especially if you're wrong. If you're right, I can still understand. If you're wrong, that's a very bad situation to put yourself in. Then you are almost 99% reject, even if you have a best coding skills and all. Because see, one thing that every company wants is a guy they can trust, right? If you say something, they will be comfortable that okay, he will know that. But if you are a guy that cannot admit that you don't know something, and then in front of client, then you say that bad stuff, that old, that wrong stuff, and the client points out to the company that this guy doesn't know this stuff, that's a slap on the company, right? So no company wants that situation, that you screw up in front of a client. You will do some mistakes in front of a client, that's not a issue. But on some basic concept, if you are and you're confident about your ignorance. So I think that's a better word. Don't be confident about your ignorance. Have some humility in your ignorance, right? If you don't know something, have humility and admit it and move past it. But don't be confident in your ignorance that I don't know, but I'm still confident. That's a very bad thing for a data scientist, and they won't be able to go long in the journey, because at the end of the day, everyone can Google, and even with chat GPT, it's more easier to find out mistakes. In the interview, I can chat GPT your lies as you speak, right? So that's the thing. You need to be humble in your ignorance, not confident in your ignorance, and rest anything, other stuff, it's not big red flags for me, like not knowing coding that much, only knowing the basics. I still have given people second round if they have known the basic. They were humble, they were, whatever they know, they knew. Whatever they didn't know, no problem, until unless they didn't know a very major thing, right? Let's say if I'm hiring for an NLP role and they don't know the full form of NLP, or they don't know the basics of NLP and all that simple stuff, then you can't hire that, right? But other than that, I'm open to, because if a person shows me that he has a learning, he's open to learning new stuff, and he is humble enough to admit his mistake, that's a good thing for me to build that, because he can study and then maybe clear that stuff in the second round.
Right, right. Because in interview, if you first only lie for some any question or answer,
Hmm.
you have to lie for 100 times.
Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
you have a answer for the interviewer, so they can understand that this person is have skills and he is not able to express in the interview.
Yeah, in this saturated market, I'll be frank, it's a bit difficult to stand out. But I think that personal projects and building, join some community of data scientists, be a part of that community, and build relationships in that community and get referrals through that. I think that's the best way to get jobs in this particular market. Whether it is a hackathon community, whether it's there are groups in LinkedIn which have data science stuff and all, or whether it's some kind of club or something like that, or business conclaves or whatever. Join some community, build some personal projects, showcase that, share your ideas, and then once you have some build some connections with the other people, then you can ask for referral from them. So in this market, referral is the best way to go about it. Apart from referrals, there are job agencies that can help get past the HR. There are some decent job agencies, but be careful about them, because sometimes they are they give a lot of promises, but they can't fulfill all them. So just be aware that what promises could be fulfilled by them and all.
So, sir, next point I want to discuss with you, that can you share a time when you faced rejection or failure in your career journey and how it leads to something better?
I have gone through a lot of, I don't think of them as failure, but I would say, let's take the word failure only. So there were instances where I felt that I wasn't able to make my ends meet, especially in the 1 year after the graduation, when I was in the Corona period. There were not many jobs. There were a lot of difficulty in the market to even, reach the job, reach the employer, because physically you can't go online was very new. Not everyone had a good mobile, Wi-Fi connection and all that stuff. So that was a bit difficult. I would say failure is always a opportunity in wolf's clothing. This is also a phrase that I have in my Instagram handle. Failure is an opportunity that is covered in a wolf's clothing. So it appears like a wolf. It appears like it's about to eat you up, but actually it's an opportunity. Every failure is an opportunity that gives you a pedestal to learn something new and improve yourself and become more stronger version of yourself. So irrespective of the failures that you get, what you need to do is learn from your mistakes and then update yourself and go past your mistakes that you have done.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's very important to learn from your mistakes. Doing the mistake is not bad thing, but doing the same mistake again and again is a
Yeah.
bad thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And as a data scientist, you can't do that anyways. Same mistakes again and again. You have a data. You need to be more conscious about observe. See, observation is very important in
Right.
that. People are not observant about themselves. Some people don't even observe that they are doing failures. They are doing something wrong again and again. They are failing again and again, but they still do the same thing again and again. Right? First, you need to be observant, and then you need to learn from it. So, just to give you an example of one of my failures, I invested some money in
Right.
my stock market and I lost like around 60,000 rupees in it. So it was a big loss for me at that time. And from that, I learned how properly invest in stock market, and I become more conscious about certain things. Like I used to invest in penny stocks, what are called like low valuation stocks, because they had good returns in certain situations. But they are also very high risk stocks. I didn't knew that at that time. I thought that okay, I have some free money, I have some extra money, I can invest and I can grow my money. But I had a good decent loss of 3,000. So that made me realize that I need to learn more. I can't just go into this field and just start investing stuff. I need to learn about investing. I need to know how to invest sensibly, and it was a good learning experience. But I have also made mistakes, so it's not like data scientists don't make mistakes. They also make mistakes. They lose money also. But the big thing is you learn from your mistakes.
Yes, yes, yes. So, sir, my next question is to you that what small habit do you think has had the biggest impact on your long-term success?
From a habit point of view, waking up early is a good habit to have. Be absolutely clear about, what is work life and what is personal life, right? So even through my challenges, I didn't lose on my personal skills, right? So for instance, I like to sing, and it has made me go through a lot of difficult, challenges that I faced in my professional and my personal journey. So singing is a habit that has helped me a lot. And apart from that, singing, I also like to, jog and all that stuff. So I think it's more than a habit. It's more like have something that gives peace to yourself. You don't need to have every. Usually people do this. I want to have a habit because this habit will help me make money. I want to have a habit because this habit will make me a better person. That's all good and fine. But also have a habit that makes you feel happy. In the process of creating habits for purposes, for money making, for professional journey and all that stuff, you lose on the habit that makes you feel happy. And if you keep yourself unhappy for so long, then you can't do the boring stuff, or you can't do the mental gymnastics that are required in this domain, right? So you need to keep hobbies as a side that can make you re-energize, so that next day you can still take up the difficult task and all that stuff. So I think this is one habit that has helped me through the difficult times that I had in some client project. Apart from that, from a professional point of view, I have a habit of always being the first person to say yes to something, and it has helped me tremendously. I have promoted twice because I feel whatever problems were given to me, whether I was able to solve or not, I never said no, I can't do it. I always say yes, right? Now, after 2-3 weeks, if I'm genuinely not able to do it, I say, yeah, I'm not able to, maybe, this is maybe I won't be able to do. But whenever an opportunity comes, don't say no to that opportunity, right? So, just to give you an example, when I joined my present role as a fresher, I was not much skilled in time series analytics, right? Time series forecasting was not my forte. I was more, I would say, well versed with the classification and regression model, not with time series models. But the first project I got was of time series. So if I was like a person like, okay, this is not my forte, and people said no to this project, people said that I have more experience in classification and regression. I'm not that comfortable with time series. People said that, but I said yes, knowingly that I haven't had that hands-on experience in time series because I wanted to learn something new. And this habit of mine has made me able to has maybe helped me grow faster than I could before. At the same time, it creates an impression in front of your clients and your manager that you're a dependable person. If there is a problem that ever comes in the business, you will be there to at least give it a try. You won't be the person who won't even try to solve that problem. You will at least give it a shot. If you're not able to solve after that, you can say that you tried but failed. But at least you should try the problem. And most of the times I've seen, once you start trying something, you'll catch up to it. It may just a few weeks to know the basics of time series and the general models that they were dealing with. And I was at the end of the project, I created an end-to-end code that had 5 to 6 models that we were doing all sorts of forecasting. We were doing recursive forecasting and all that stuff. So every day, whatever opportunity gets to you in your job, don't say too much no, especially in the first year of your job. That won't create a good impression. I've seen people who were joined as an associate were removed from the organization because of that, because they were too choosy. So don't be too choosy with the problems. Life will throw problems to you. You can't be that much choosy. You can be choosy to some extent, but it's best to be less choosy and just give it a try. If you're not able to do it, no problem. But at least give it a try.
Yes, yes, yes. So, sir, what does success mean to you beyond your job title and your salary?
For me, success means freedom. Freedom to do whatever I want to do. I live with my family still in my, in my home, and I can enjoy all the festivals that I have. I may not be earning as much as other senior analytical consultants or senior people. I may be earning a little less. I have the freedom to, live at my home, enjoy festivals with my family, which other people who work in Bangalore and Hyderabad don't have that. Now, it's also a part of priority. Like if you want to live alone, that's a different case. But to have that freedom to live alone is also a freedom, right? So for me, success is freedom. Apart from money and job title that I have got, what money gives me is freedom to make certain decisions, certain lifestyle decisions that I want, right? Where do I want to live? What kind of food I want to eat? So if I want to eat Amritsari kulcha, I can only get in northern India, right? In southern India, you can get it, but it's not going to be at that level, right? Similarly, if you want to spend time with your family on festivals, it's a lifestyle choice, and my current job gives me that, since I have work from home and I have a decent salary, so it gives me that. And at the end of the day, even our scriptures talk about mukti and all that stuff. That's also all about freedom. You need to be free from different foundations that you have, right? So yeah, I think that's the real success for do whatever you want.
Yes, yes. So, sir, last question for you for our podcast is what's a simple but powerful piece of advice for building a resilience in this field,
Okay.
right?
For me, I think routine matters, right? You need to create a routine and you need to stick to that routine. This was provided to me by my, EdTech institute from which I got the certification. More than just the study material, they provided me a routine that every day, 8 to 10 p.m., you will listen a lecture, 10 to 12 p.m., you will complete your assignment, submit it at 12 p.m., and then next day again, all that stuff again. So create a routine, that, okay, I will do 30 minutes of Python, 30 minutes of SQL, 1 hour of practical, anything, right? Anything practical you can do. And that's that once you're able to create a routine, then it's just a matter of time and your intelligence, right? See, if you're an average student, it will take you maybe 3 months more. For a intelligent student, you can cover all the aspects of data science in 6 months. But if you're an average student, maybe you can complete it in 9 months or 10 months. But routine is important. Once routine is set, you can cover it, be it 6 months, 9 months, 10 months. But if routine is not constant, then you can keep on learning. I see people learning data science in 3 years, and so that's the problem. People learn so much, and people want to. It's a problem here. I think in India, people always want to keep on being in the student mode. I'll learn it. I'll learn it. I'll learn it. I'll learn from this. Then I'll do this, and then I'll learn from there. Yeah, you have an entire life, man. You need to go past the learning and start applying. And that's why I say make application a part of your routine. Whatever you learn that day, try to apply it in any way. And if you don't have any ideas how to apply, just ask ChatGPT. How do I give me a practical application of SQL that I can apply for this particular window function? Let's say you're learning very particular stuff. You can ask ChatGPT to create an application that you can then apply. So I think that's very important for building the resilience in this field, because if you don't have the routine, can't sit for nine. See, in the job you will have to sit for 8 to 9 hours, and in India, as you know, sometimes that can stretch to 10 hours and 11 hours also, right? So you need to build a routine. At least 3 to 4 hours you have to create a routine to sit, solve things, or read things, or listen to things, and then apply certain solutions, so that once you get into the job, you don't get overwhelmed that, oh, I have to sit for 9 hours, it's so difficult, all that stuff.
Yes, sir. It's really great talking with you. First of all, I would like thank you for coming to my podcast and giving me a prestigious time. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I just wanted to have, like, I liked some of your questions. That's why I wanted to kind of go about it. And overall, I think I also used to watch podcasts and all, and I still watch some decent podcasts and all. That's why I wanted to be a part of it. And whatever few insights that you can get from my journey and our discussion, I hope they give you some advantage in the job market and in the learning process.
Yes, yes, it's really helpful for all data students and aspirants who are entering in this. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Thanks. My pleasure.
Please let me know in the comment which guest would you like to see on this podcast and any specific topics you would like us to discuss with them. We will try to bring those guests and ask your questions so you will get more helpful information. Before you go, share this episode with someone. It might really help them because one conversation can change a person's life, giving them a new idea and direction. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you in next video.